this question first. So how to write case studies and all. So please see, first in the case study, please think about what are the informations that are given. For example, disastrous impact on economies. First point, you should know that this virus, coronavirus, you should in the case of case studies, when you're writing answer, use the facts which are given in the questions. In the same way as English question papers, for example, in English question papers, comprehension for CSAT, they would clearly mention one fact. You have to think about the passage only, not the other things which are given. For example, if a passage is given and it is written as Rousseau, you should not think about what Rousseau had said. You should think about only the passage and use the information in that passage to answer. In the same way, in the case of case studies, you can actually add your points, but use the terms which are there in the passage. For example, coronavirus, disastrous impact on economies, loss of many lives. Third point. So economy has been shattered, many lives have been shattered, and the world is hurriedly searching. Okay, so they are not waiting; they are hurriedly. All these things you have to imbibe in yourself, and it is clearly said. Yes, it is clearly said the impact will reduce only when a vaccine is found. So, but the point is that now vaccine is found. But see the next question: what measures do you think the countries could have taken? Could have taken, not or should take. It is actually could have taken to reduce the impacts on economy and lives. That is, what should have been the preparedness? That was the question actually. Most of you have addressed the question in a way that, for example, what you have addressed is that. So we will be switching to the question paper and to the board. This is how this time it will work. More than reading, the people keep talking about the smart work. You have to understand what is smart work. Smart work is nothing but you read, but then what you do, you brainstorm. This is the smart work they keep talking. Brainstorming. You have to brainstorm, and no, brainstorming means you have to jot down points. This will be useful for essay as well. Essay, the first point is brainstorm. So in the case of any in GS, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3 or option, whatever may be the point, you read. That is a very important concept. Yes, I don't deny the fact that you should not read and all. You should definitely read. That is first attempt, second attempt, third attempt and all. Heavy reading should be there. But the point is that the next step becomes very, very, very essential. That is why I gave the question paper on the day itself. You need not think about I will only see the question paper and I will write. No, you can actually take some time. You can brainstorm. What do I want to write for these questions? For example, in the case of this question Corona, you think about it. You brainstorm. What are the steps that can be taken? That is what everyone wrote. What should be done? Should. That is, they have written, for example, economy should be boosted. Very good. Economy should be boosted, yes. And protective measures should be improved, yes. Social distancing measures, yes, improved, yes, very good. And vaccination programs, infrastructure improved, yes. All this are should. Now what should be done? But the question was, what could have been the steps that could have? That is, for example, our lockdown was announced on March 23rd, right? What could have been the steps that could have reduced the impacts? That should be your mind. What should be that is what you have to keep reading the question. See, that is why so the whole passage starts like slowly, everything starts, but the point is that what measures the countries you think should have taken. So you think what should have been taken, you think about it, brainstorm it. Anyone, please, you can add your points now. What should have been taken? So think about it. Could have, or what India could have done. You think about it. The first thing, medical infrastructure could have been, they could have been beefed up, right? Beefed up in the sense they could have been improved. That is, the point was that at around December, I think, yes, December, or yes, January, mostly January, February, yes, you guys started reading about coronavirus in a very, very fast fashion, that it is, or for example, Japan, if you thought about it, in the seas of Japan, one ship was quarantined and everything was stopped. Actually, I was also of the thinking of the fact that this is a simple virus, but the huge repercussions of this virus have been Diamond Princess. Yes, 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 yes. I forgot the name, but yes, Diamond Princess. So it was actually quarantined. News everyone saw, but the point is that were we ready? I was not ready actually. I was asked in my one of the mock interviews. I was asked this question: Yokohama, is it okay? Okay, Yokohama Diamond Princess. So the point was that I was, yes, Manu, actually correct. I think that was Manu Bhaskar, Manu Banakar. Yes, okay. Yokohama, yes, I guess. The point was that it was in January or something. It was around this time. It was a New Year cruise something. So what could have been the steps taken? So at that time, if medical infrastructure had been beefed up, it would have been improved. It would have been very good. Another point you should know, another point, one person, I forgot the name, I will check the paper. I think Kapilan, yes, Kapilan, if you are there, please do listen. Point is that one question, 7 sins of Gandhi we are talking means, politics, if you are writing, politics without principle is detrimental. It's a sin. So you should justify, you should tell why. Because politics without principle will lead to corruption, will lead to favoritism, will lead to drain of wealth of India, will lead to usurpation of power, will lead to many things. You should justify. See, Gandhiji has given one point: politics without principle is not good. The purpose of asking that question in paper, this was a GS4 paper, they asked it in 2016, 7 sins of Gandhiji. That is why I keep saying, whatever Gandhiji has said, please do note that. Whatever the questions will be in GS1, GS4, everywhere. That is what in essay also, if you write Gandhiji, quote Gandhiji. Because he is one of the very important thinkers of India, and he forms very essential part of our whole core structure. If you go to, for example, interview, when you go, Gandhiji is the last place. Birla House will be very close. You can go walk, and you will definitely it will be very close to the UPSC office. So you'll be seeing all those places. It's a very good, nice place you should visit. But the point is that what you have to remember is that he has given some principle. The examiner, when he asks or she asks, you have to justify in your words. These 4 points are the marks they will give. This is Gandhiji's word, right? This is Gandhiji's word. For writing all the 7 points, yes, it is a very, very nice thing. But the point is that you should tell what is principle. Or science, I think, what is that? Science without conscience or morality. What is that? Science without some point is there, right? Science without humanity. Okay, good. I think Lakshman had written that very well actually. This was the example Gandhiji also used. Actually, atom bomb, if it is there, atom bombs, when it was created, Oppenheimer, the person who created this, he quoted Bhagavad Gita. He quoted Bhagavad Gita and said, I have become the death now. He quoted Bhagavad Gita. Why he has quoted humanity? Okay. Please, the point is that all the points, destroyer of, yes, Venkat, correct. I am the destroyer of all the points. I will not know, so you guys should help me. Okay, so I'm very bad at remembering points. Contextually, I can say, but the factual points, names, numbers, I keep missing out on that. So when I ask you, please do give that. But the point is that this is what the mark is given. Not this is, yes, this will be given marks. But you are saying the point is that atom bombs, why it was used? It can, this technology can be used for harnessing energy, or in, for example, nuclear technology is used in cancer treatment or cancer patients. But the point is that without humanity, if you use this technology without humanity, it will be used for destruction. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Actually, why it was found, the technology has two sides, right? In the same, this should be addressed. So when you are addressing points, you have to be careful in addressing these points. In the same way, we will come to one other question. But the point why this question will come. But the thing why I addressed this question here was, you should not just write medical infrastructure will be or should have been beefed up. This is not where you have to stop. This is where you have to, for example, give the examiner point. You should say protective gears could have been bought and kept. Protective gears for the PPP, what is that PPPE kits, right? They could have got this kits earlier itself. The thing was that that was the problem. Second, masks should. The point was that on March 16, I think March 16, our health minister made fun. Health minister, who is Mr. Honorable. Please, anyway, if you are using, keep practicing that, because you are going to be addressing ministers only. So Honorable, whatever maybe, okay, Honorable Vijay Bhaskar sir was addressing the meeting and saying that no mask nahi chahiye, no mask, you don't have to ask mask. But the point was that Harshvardhan, that and all, that is a bigger version. But our health minister, I was saying, our health minister, he said no mask and all. But the point is that masks could have been, or what is the beefing up means, masks could have had been there, or then what is that, oxygen cylinders. You have to tell them medical beefing up of medical infrastructure could have been. So this is one point. So medical oxygen could have been there. Second point, could you think about more points? Chandru, that is a separate point, right? Medical infrastructure beefing we are talking about. In this, what can be written? In this, more you, whatever you quote, it will be very good. Or for example, lab infrastructure, very good, Balaji, super. Lab infrastructure could have been, point is correct, right? The thing was that we had more labs, but they were not accredited. They were not authorized. That was the problem. That was because more the lab you authorize, they will be giving you results fastly. So when results come to doctors very soon, training Asha workers, yes, or you should say not training means you should, yes, standard operating procedure. Can we say, Saranan, that was restricting quarantine. We will come to the next point. That comes, you should in answer writing, this is how actually your brain also stocks up points. Your brain has a sanitizer, yes, sanitizers could have been improved. So like this, provide, you think about this, what could have been beef, what could have been done, one point. But in that one point, you think about, that is what collectors did. What collectors did, you think about it. Collectors, as a job of a collector, I know actually that happened because my interview was on March 23. I was very scared of that whole thing. My interview was on March 23 when actually the whole India locked down. Okay, the point was that then I kept calling my friends and asking what they were doing. My friends in the administration, actually they were clueless. They couldn't know because no standard operating procedure was there. you think about it, this maybe we will have this later. This could have been, for example, as Monica said, you can in the medical infrastructure beefing out, you can say hand sanitizer, yes, or hand sanitizer and other things which are necessary for medical staffs could have been. So 5 points in one. See, this is only 1 point. You are going to write for your, this is a 2-page answer. I am just telling you 1 point. Like this, you have to write 4-5 points. You have to write. That's how marks come. We are addressing the first question only. Okay, so we'll go fast. So second point, as Chandru and Saravanan had said, now you can come quarantine. You put a separate quarantining of flights and passengers. In this, you think about what and all could be written. For example, you think about it. Ministry of External Affairs could have. That is what could have or should have given travel warnings. This was what actually other countries did. They could have actually. Our country also did. I am not saying we did not do, but with the force which is necessary, it should have been done. And the next point is that quarantining passengers, procedures should have been established. Digital train of passengers. This was all done only after. Point is that who came, who went into our city, no one knew. Who had nothing, no one had any clue what person who came from where and where they went. Only after March 23, after knowing all these things, they started having this whole thing, and the problem went into a tailspin. But the point is that you could have quarantine of, that is what I am telling you, yes. Digital tracking of asymptomatic and asymptomatic. Digital tracking, that is what digital trail or tracking. That is, you find them. This is second point. Third point, you tell any other point which could have been taken. For example, or third point can be awareness creation, or for example, this could have been. When I complete this answer, I will also tell you where to fit this answer. It will be fitting in paper 3 as well. How, I will tell you now. Okay, how wonderful all these things are there. How UPSC, how you have to think in UPSC. That is what I am telling you. Studying is one part. The second part is, that is what is called as smart work. Smart work is nothing. Smart work. No. Smart work is thinking. Okay, that is what I will tell you. One philosopher also, thinking. What is thinking and rationality? So yes. Government measures ensuring proper bed provision to treat. That should be here. Increasing bed. So see, when you have come here, do not stack up points. It is okay. 1 point in that you have given here. If you find that this will happen, actually this will happen, you will be writing all these things. 3-4 points you would have written. When the paper ends, you will find one answer which is very essential, which is very, very important than the points you have given. But please don't go and for example, don't write like this and all. 1 point like this. Okay, don't do that. Just to give it up. Okay, go, because you have completely written all the points and the points which are necessary. It is okay. You have done your job. Move on to the next question. So, but the point is that here you can add increasing bed. Or, for example, after the whole issue, trains were made as bed, schools and colleges, everything was there. This could have had a easier quarantining facility there. So quarantining of flights. Third point, what could have happened? You think about it, standard operating procedure. Think about it, standard operating procedure. This was the problem. You know, Tina Dabi was, I think she is in Rajasthan. Actually, she is in Rajasthan now. I forgot the name. Bilwara, I guess. She is in Bilwara. She went and did great works there. Her work, and not only her, her senior was the, I don't know, he was the collector and she was the assistant collector, I think. Bilwara protocol, yes, yes. The point was that she was there, she was assistant collector. Her the collector was a very good, very great, I mean, most sincere officer in India, one of the most sincere officer in India. I forgot that is what I forget names. Tina Dabi I knew because she wrote with us, so I know her name, but I forgot. He's a senior, and he and she made sure that Bilwara Rajasthan was cruising, but they contained it. They contained it. They contained it, and you know what happened? Their model, actually, this was their model. They gave it as standard operating procedure. What they did, how the checking did, everything what they did means the standard operating procedure. It is very essential for every IAS officer. This standard point is that you can say, go do that, go do that. You cannot coordinate. You should have a standard operating procedure. That is what is called. That is what we say in Aristotle or virtue ethics also. Why Socrates, Aristotle, Plato are saying habituation. You should have a habitual virtue ethics. You should have a virtue cultivated by habits. Means you can do, for example, I can do some good works. Yes, Rajendra Bhatt. Yes, the DM is Rajendra Bhatt, sir. He's a very wonderful person. So the point is that standard operating procedure should be there. Why means what was I saying? Actually, standard operating the same as virtue ethics. Why means you should habituate. You should have ethics. Means, for example, in the case of idealism, or in virtue ethics also, what they say is it should be applicable for all at all the time. That why means because one district can follow one rule. They can say, okay, only incarceration or quarantining is enough. The point is that one district can say testing. One can say or one can say provision of proper support. Each can say each thing, but India is a very large country. In that large country, you should also think about all the districts. It is not one district. So the point is that there should be a standard operating procedure. Actually, it was made. That document was sent to every collector office immediately. And it was sent by it was taken to Niti Aayog and the health ministry, and it was approved, and that model was given to everyone to be followed as standard operating procedure. But the point is that it could have been done earlier itself, right? There could have been a standard operating procedure for every district with some leverage. Yes, with every district will have some problem. Maybe border districts will have some problems. Maybe northeastern districts, they could have different types of problem. That leverage every district should be given, but there should be a standard operating procedure, model code of conduct where they have to establish. Fourth point, what could have, what you think? Awareness generation. Awareness generation at the earlier itself. Awareness generation, for example, people could have been slowly talked about English or in schools and things. They could have been given prior information that such as a thing is going to come. If it comes, what are the necessary things they would have to handle. And the fifth point, I think this was this point J3 had given. That's a very nice point. This was done by in Kerala. They did this. They did this. Means increasing bandwidth. Now whole India is the point is that whole India is operating based on internet only. Nothing moves without internet now. All schools, everything. We also do this only, right? This was actually done by, actually in Kerala they did this. They did it, they started in January, February itself they started. The chief minister sent a letter to the concerned authorities or concerned companies and told them that because the point is that e-commerce can sustain, right? Or e-commerce in the sense all the small vendors can make arrangements because their products, for example, if, how many businesses closed down, how many families closed down. But if bandwidth had increased and e-commerce generation and awareness had improved, they could have made alternative. Humans are such adaptive creatures you will not find anywhere in this. But that is why we rule the whole world. We can adapt to anywhere, anytime. If the point is that we should be told, this is what is going to happen, please do something. We will immediately adapt. So point, when you increase bandwidth, this schools and everything can become, so now 5 points over, right? See, look at this. If you are writing an answer, what could have been the step? Means you could have, this is a 4-page answer, right? So now you can see, you can write here, the first point, medical beef up, and it should cover like here. So you will write some points here. And the second point can come here. What is the point? Quarantining of flights. This is medical beef up. So quarantining of flights. So you will write something, and 3 standard operating procedure, 4 improved bandwidth. The point is that these are the things you should pick up from paper. This point, I actually, if I had written, I would not have written this improved bandwidth also. The point, this is important. Actually, these are the steps which were taken, which could have been taken earlier itself. 5th point. So awareness. So 2 pages, 10 marks. So you have written here. So see this. So it will be very good. Next, any other points you have? Any other points? Any other points do you have? Yes, Manu, the point, should we write any introduction or conclusion case studies? Yes, you can write. Actually, no directly content and all, you don't have to. In case studies, for example, here you can start novel, same words, use novel, coronavirus. Why I keep using novel coronavirus means this was in the letter of UPSC actually. Because of the novel coronavirus, you have your interview has been delayed. You go back to your house. That was the notice that UPSC sent me on the morning of March 19th actually, or afternoon 19th, I guess. Afternoon 19th or 20th, sorry, 20th, I guess. I went to Delhi, but I had to come back again because of this whole shutdown. The point was that they use all these words. It will be nice. So you should use novel coronavirus has created so many steps taken. Yes, rumors. Yes, Balaji, steps taken. Okay. Avoid rumors. Yes, rumors. Balaji, that should be that when we come to fake news, we will see. Okay. Remote working, PDS, home delivery. All this Arogya Setu could have been there. Okay, quarantine Tablighi Jamaat instead of allowing them to spread, contact tracing those who discuss. Venkat, instead of quarantine Tablighi Jamaat, that was the point I am trying to say. Tablighi Jamaat was given. It was around March 15th to 17th or something. This week they were given approval. Actually, one of the persons who went to, for example, interview, he went actually. He got IPS, a very close, nice person. Raghupati, he got service. His interview was on March 15th. So he was telling me, because all the flights were moving around, there was no warning at all. So Tablighi Jamaat, instead of contract, that was the post. That was what they did. Actually, they quarantined everyone. But they could have not given permission. That is what I'm saying. What steps could have been taken? Stressing. So this one is there. So we'll go to here. Here actually Lakshman had written nicely in the form of table. Very good, Lakshman. So, but I have some thing. Actually, many had put politicians here. Why did you put politicians? Teachers were okay. Teachers you can say last. Or this was the question actually. You check the question. Question was children, women, old age, health workers, teachers, politicians. Arrange in the order, right? Why? The point is that you can actually politicians are good only. Teachers, yes, you can. That was a very good point that you had them at the last. That was a very good. First thing you think about it. First thing is health workers. Without, because if you have the vaccine means they are in the front line fighting every person. So if they are not administered these vaccine, they would be administering people who are infected, and in turn they will go back and infect more people. So these are the first, you should think about this. These are the first people who have to be vaccinated. Second is actually okay, this you can have various. That is why I have given marks to everyone. But you think about it. Second should be politicians. Actually, Lakshman had written very good. Why means they are the ministers, right? Without them signing, for example, if you have to have masks flown in, whole the whole thing was shut down. The whole thing was shut down. How do you get masks? Masks then actually that was what Vijay Bhaskar said. Actually, Vijay Bhaskar said that masks are coming from China. How to take that information? Yes. Jayatri, the point is that older people. Yes, you can have older people also here also. Second point. Yes, actually you are very well correct. You can have or you can have justified. You can say older people, but all politicians are older people. So they should be given, right? They are the most. The point is that you are saying older people should be given. First should be health workers. Second should be older people, right? In older people, if you see, all politicians are older people, right? So all are above 60, right? So logically, you can think, you can use, you can. I'm just telling you. But older people, you can say. But politicians, if you give, the point is that is what I'm saying. Why I'm saying means they want their sign has to be there. Their sign has to be there. Their sign, for example, what steps are necessary to be taken, how to quarantine. They have the executive power. You cannot just go and, for example, they tell everyone coming from flight to go and get incarcerated or quarantined. No, no one will accept. Why everyone accept means it is executive order. Executive order given permission by minister and collectors plus collectors. Without these orders, you cannot quarantine anyone. That is under you. That will go against Article 21, right to life. You cannot quarantine anyone. But the point is that these two people have given you permission. That is why health workers can go and tell anyone, please quarantine. You get the point. There is a system. So we're following the system. Yes, actually, or you can have old people or older people or politicians. But most politicians are old people, so you can have the courtesy of giving them the thing. Then okay, then women and children. Actually, you don't have to tell women after the children. You can say women and children. Children, and you can quote about this because they are vulnerable. Maybe pregnant women are there. Children can have, because in schools they can spread, or in the neighboring families they can spread. And yes, teacher, yes, it is last only. Teachers, absolutely right, because they can have their online classes only. They can, for example, they need not go and take classes, and hence it is last. So everyone understood. This is how you solve case studies. So 4 pages over. This is how an answer should look. So this question, okay, is it okay? So shall we go to the next question? This question, any doubt? Anyone has any suggestion? So shall we start the next question? Yes, you can raise hands, and today you can actually tell your points also, so that everyone can hear your points as well. No, Venkat, no. Actually, in the case of writing answers, not only ethical points, you should also take the medical point as well. In medical context, if you see, it is the first vulnerable is old age people, then women, then children. Okay. So this is the line of thought. So you should also take into the fact what is the medical context also, what the medical world is saying. So medical world is saying the old people are the most vulnerable, and hence they should be. That is what, as J3 said, you can have above old age people, above politicians also. But the politicians, why I chose second means because they have to give this whole structure a move. So once point, the flood which happened in 2015, Chennai flooded, right? Why Chennai flooded? No executive order was given. That was the point. You could have, man, we could have knew the problem was there. The whole day, 3 days, there was a whole flooding. But the point is that the executive order was missing. You know, the minister responsible is our deputy chief minister. So he was waiting for the order from Dr. J.Sivarajarajendran, but she was at that time very sick, so she was undergoing some problem. But he, as a minister, should have given the order. But he was like, "I will ask Amma and I will give," and the whole city flooded. So that is why I chose the second problem. So any doubts other than this? So next question, can we go?